Dear students, today as part of our paper Environmental Studies, we are going to deal with India as a mega diversity nation. The United Nations has declared the year 2010 as the International Year of Biodiversity, and the theme for this year's Environment Day is Biodiversity: connecting with nature. So you have to connect with nature because in large scale we are exploiting nature and destroying it, and we have to follow what is called a sustainable development, that is leaving substantial quantum of resources for future generations. So based on that, the United Nations on the year 2010 evolved the concept of connecting with nature, and that is the important component of biodiversity. India has certain unique features, and India is situated at the tri-junction of three realms: Afrotropical, Indo-Malayan, and Paleo-Arctic realms, and therefore India has characteristic qualities or elements from each of these, that is the Afrotropical, Indo-Malayan, and Paleo-Arctic realms. So you can find features of all these three in India, and it makes it as a very rich country as far as the idea of biodiversity is concerned. Moreover, the Indian land, that is covering 3029 million hectares, is bounded by the Himalayas in the north, the Bay of Bengal in the east, the Arabian Sea in the west, and the Indian Ocean in the south. Two areas in India have been identified as Megadiversity hotspot areas, which are Western Ghat forest and Eastern Himalayan forest. But India as a whole country is in itself a megadiversity nation. Whether other countries have recognized that or not, we have to tell that we are a nation based on mega biodiversity. As great an environmentalist like Miller Mayer says that India is remarkable in both species richness and endemism, although it ranks only 10th position. So why India is a mega diversity nation? It is because of the variety of climatic and altitudinal condition in the country. These vary from the humid tropical Western Ghats to the hot desert of Rajasthan. So on one hand we have humid tropical climate, and in another place we have very hot desert in Rajasthan. We also have cold desert of Ladakh. So Ladakh is cold, yet you cannot see adequate vegetation in that place, and therefore it also remains to be a desert. So when you are standing in a plain in Ladakh, that is in a very small plain that you have here and there, you may find it to be very hot in the morning, and if you get into the river running sideways, you will be freezed, and that kind of a cold water runs there. So that kind of a extreme type of climate in the same place is available in Indian subcontinent. If Ladakh is called a desert, then we also have icy mountains in Himalayas, and we have the generally warm coastal plain in the peninsular region, and all these constitute for the biodiversity of the nation. And ecosystem diversity is highest in the world, which represents forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, wetland ecosystem, coastal and marine ecosystems, and the desert ecosystem. So in the previous class I pointed you about the general division named Kurinji, Mullai, Neidal, Palai, and Marudam. So similarly the world has itself divided its place into these kinds of grassland systems and other ecosystems. So we have wider range of ecosystems that characterize the nation's biodiversity or diversity of ecosystem. The country constitutes only 2.4% of the world's land area, but it has 11% of flora and 6.5% of fauna of the world. Approximately 65% of the total geographical area has been surveyed so far. So, some 35% of the total geographical area in India has not been surveyed, and therefore there are certain limitations also on producing the statistics. Based on this, that is the 65% surveyed area and data culled out from there, we have only 46,000 species of plants, which accounts for 15% of the known world plants. In this 15,000 species of the flowering plants, out of these 35% are endemic and located in 25 endemic centers. 81,000 animal species have been described by the Botanical Survey of India, that is established in 1890, and also Zoological Survey of India, established in 1916 respectively. The Ministry of Environment and Forests constituted the National Afforestation and Eco Development Board in August 1992, because in India forest resources went depleting due to huge exploitation of human activities. So in the earlier class I have pointed to you that the planet is now encountering greatest danger at the 6th level, greatest danger caused by human activities, and therefore we have to stop such exploiting tendency towards nature, and we have to be very friendly and should cause afforestation. And this afforestation project is not going to give 100% result, but we have no other alternative than going for this kind of an alternative. So afforestation has been encouraged through the National Afforestation and Eco Development Board, that was evolved in 1992 August. This board that evolved specific schemes for promoting afforestation, and also it introduced management strategies which helped the states in developing specific afforestation and management strategies and eco development packages for augmenting biomass production through a participatory planning process of joint forest management and micro planning. So involving people is very important. People should realize that we should be very careful when exploiting nature, and if at all we keep on exploiting, one day we will be coming across certain difficulties. No doubt the people living in the forest, they have traditional rights over the forest resources to collect firewood and so on and so forth, but at the same time look into the issue that was irking two states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. A person who is not origin to the forest, that is Veerappan, he was exploiting sandalwoods in huge number, and also he was trying to kill as many elephants as he can, and he wanted to take away the tusk and sell it for good profit. So he is not a forest tribal, he belongs to a particular caste, and he is involved in smuggling of forest resources, and he contributed for the depletion of forest resources in huge quantum, and the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, they struggled severely to stop this person, and successfully they nabbed him. But before that, much of our forest resources were already spoiled. So strict law is also available, but sometimes these are all bypassed. Major central acts relevant to biodiversity include Forest Act of 1927, Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, Forest Conservation Act of 1980 and Environment Protection Act of 1986. So all these acts, and apart from that we have National Forest Policy, amended policy in 1988, were all before globalization. And this problem that emerged due to Veerappan came to us from 1990. So particular law to nab these kinds of problem have not been evolved in our country. So biodiversity has to be, because when wildlife is abundantly available, people will hesitate to go into the forest and exploit it, and therefore when this person is killing elephants in large number, many people will feel free to go into the forest and exploit it, and that has to be avoided with severe laws. Various central laws are supported by a number of state laws also, and there are certain forest related statutes that also try to prevent forests from being getting depleted. But still a paradigmal shift has to be put in force to protect the forest resources. Apart from that, to develop the biodiversity in the country, the state has evolved, that is meaning the Indian state has evolved environment and sustainable development policy statement, national agricultural policy, national land use policy, national fisheries policy, national policy and action strategy and biodiversity, national wildlife action plan, and environmental action plan. So people's participation is very important, and educating them on protecting the biodiversity is equally significant. The Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education has identified 309 forest preservation plots of representative forest types for conversion of viable and representative areas of biodiversity. Out of these plots, 187 area in natural forests and 112 area in plantations. The results of this network have been significant in restoring viable population of large mammals such as tiger, lion, rhinoceros, crocodiles, and elephants. 6 Indian wetlands has more than 2,500 wetlands spread over an area of 4.1 million hectares. India is also embodied with 64,122 km of river networks, contrasting landforms like mountain ranges, plateaus, and valleys. 1.4 million hectares of reservoirs, 2.26 million hectares of ponds and lakes, 1.47 million hectares of brackish water, and about 8,060 km extensive coastline, and 1.56 million hectares of water logged lands in common area. To complement in situ conservation, attention has been paid to ex situ conservation measures. According to current data, we have 33 botanical gardens maintained by state and central governments in constitution or in collaboration with each other. Universities have their own botanical gardens. So for instance, take our own university, we have environmental biotechnology course, and we have efficient environmentalists working in this particular department. Even our registrar, he belongs to the marine environmental biotechnology department. So both we have environmental biotechnology department, biotechnology department, and marine biotechnology department, wherein environmental consciousness has been created to the students, and they are into researching of Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, and also the place, particularly our marine biology center is located in Rajakamangalam, which is very near to Bay of Bengal as well as Arabian Sea. So uh, this kind of effort is being taken not only by our university but various other universities also. So in all, we are making every effort to protect the biodiversity of the country. With this observation, I would like to conclude my lecture on biodiversity or India as a mega biodiversity nation. Thank you very much.